afternoon, investigators. Mike Evans and Casey Pine with episode 242 of Spy Curious. How are you, Casey Pine?
I am amazing. How are you, Mike?
Very well, thank you. This is the weekly Friday afternoon program of interest to all investigators. Say hi in the chat if you're watching, people. G'day, Jamie. Great to see you, mate. Really
Hi,
good to see
Jamie.
you. Hope you're well. So we get together every Friday to have a look at what's happening in the industry. Heather! There she is. Hi, Heather. Great to see you, Heather. Thanks for watching. Megan, great to see you. Thanks for checking in and saying hello. Always good to hear from you, Heather, Megan, and Jamie. So, people, this week we've got a lot to get through, but Casey likes to start fights, and she's argumentative.
Hi, Amanda, Claire.
And when you rent those vehicles like taxis, they're called Ubers.
Oh, God.
But Casey thinks they're called something else. What do you think they're called, Casey?
It's called an Uber. Like,
People,
it's not you.
in the chat, can you just confirm for me, because I'm right and Casey over there is wrong. Is it Uber or is it Uber? Can you confirm that in the chat for me, people, just to prove Casey's wrong and that I'm right? Thank you very much. All right, so that's important. Yep, that's right. G'day, Claire. All right, so it's Uber. No argument. That's it. Absolutely none.
Hi, Chantel.
Chantel, how you going down in Kingscliff? Great to see you. Drove past Kingscliff on Wednesday. I was down in Byron on Wednesday. I should have had a photo of it there somewhere, Casey. Have I got a Byron photo?
Thank you, Heather. Thank you very much. It is.
What did Heather say?
She believes I'm correct.
All righty. Okay, so that's just one vote. All right. Everybody else ignore Casey and Heather and make sure you support me, person who's here. I was driving past Kingscliff the other day. Got a two votes. Just two votes for the people that are on side with Casey. I drove past Kingscliff the other day down in Byron. That's me in Byron. Big session down there. Everybody thought my jokes were really funny. And it was afternoon tea time, and you know how you don't think my jokes are funny. Everybody was loving my jokes down there on Wednesday. And afternoon tea, I realised why. That's what they were serving. So that's why my jokes were funny. Byron Bay on Wednesday. So that's happened. Down in Victoria this week, been a bit of an issue down there this week with
Hi, Grant.
G'day, Grant. Is it Uber or Uber, mate? Whose side are you on, Grant? Come on.
Uber.
Stay with me there, Grant. Down in Victoria this week, basically, this is what happened. TAFE manager was unfairly sacked a couple of years ago for a training fraud at King of Batman TAFE, and that was reported in the Financial Review. It's taken almost a decade, but Bonnie and Baby have been sentenced in jail for ripping off the Australian Vocational Education and Training System by selling TAFE courses in engineering that they had no ability to deliver, no qualifications in, and no intention of ever delivering them. So this mum and daughter were sentenced this week to jail and community corrections. They're not in Victoria, they now live in Queensland. And all the details about that in the newspaper. I think they're on the ABC, that one. So that's happened this week as an RTO. It's now closed down. G'day, Evan. Good to see you. That RTO is now closed down and they can't do it anymore, but they were sentenced for that this week. Some great jobs, people. We'll be back to Casey in a minute, find out where she's been. There's factual investigators wanted at Warren Saunders in New South Wales for workers' compensation claims. They've been a really big supporter of ours over the years at Warren Saunders Investigations. Good on you guys. Hope you have a great Christmas. Senior Director of Compliance and Enforcement, WorkSafe ACT. $160,000 a year they want to pay you for that role because you know all about workers' compensation from watching Pat and I at Investigation Junior this afternoon. So great career upgrade there. This one in Victoria, circumstance investigators for safeguarding services. They're after multiple circumstance investigators If you're an Australian Security Academy graduate, all this information is on our Facebook page. And here's my job of the week. This is it. Surveillance Program Specialist in Victoria for the Environmental Protection Agency. They want to supply you with a vehicle, give you 4 weeks holiday a year. They'll give you days off for public holidays, that sort of thing, superannuation, the whole lot. And they want to pay you up to $3,000 a week to conduct surveillance in the bush. What a great opportunity. I was interviewing a young lady from the EPA several years ago. She was an absolute class act investigator. She was very good. And they actually have, investigators, believe it or not, do have a sense of humour, except for the ones that say Uber, they don't. But investigators have a sense of humour. And this lady was so talented, there was a fight about having her services internally at the EPA. The investigation side of it wanted her, and that was it. But the policy team, they wanted her to write policy. Now, you imagine your choice here. I can go out, investigate crooks, right, doing the wrong thing on the environment, or I could be in the office writing policy. What would you want to do? She did not want to go to policy, and I was interviewing her, and she was laughing about it. She was so funny, she was so capable. It was always a happy memory of mine at the EPA. Nobody wants to work in policy, and that's the same at Centrelink, at Treasury, everywhere else. Everybody wants to be an investigator. That's why you're watching. So stop writing policy, people, and let's get out there and investigate. And Joyce said, "Welcome back, Casey."
Oh, thanks, Joyce.
G'day, who's that? Is that you, Matt? I don't know, I can't see. There's Kelly. G'day, Kelly, how you going? She's happy to see you.
Hi, Kelly. Good to see you.
Surveillance not writing, but nobody wants to write policy, and she didn't want to. Oh my word, look, we just spent the whole interview laughing. It's like we're having Byron Baker for afternoon tea. Anyway, back to it. So there's all those jobs and vacancies that are available, and Casey's back. Uber. And this episode, people, is forever and a day dedicated to the BBC TV program Keeping Up Appearances and Hyacinth Bouquet. Uber, Bucket, Bouquet. Okay, so this is always going to be known as episode 242 of Spy Curious, the Uber Bucket Bouquet episode. Why does that happen? Well, down at the NDIS this week, they have named and shamed all the people that have recently committed fraud against the NDIS. And you can name this guy Uber, or whatever you want, but I wouldn't commit fraud if I had his name.
Well, there's two sides to every story, and if you look at Mrs. Bouquet from the BBC TV program, her name isn't Hyacinth Bucket. The NDIS released a bunch of names of people who criminally defrauded them recently, and one of them's name was You Fuck Dick. Now, I'm sure You Fuck Dick should pay more attention in his criminal fraudulent activities of ripping off the system and depriving young children of wheelchairs and medical care, that sort of thing, and people with disabilities and stuff they really need, that he should think about the name he uses when he applies to defraud the Commonwealth of Australia. You really are drawing a maximum attention to yourself by calling yourself silly names.
You ripped off people with a disability, mate.
Oh my God.
You get no sympathy from me. I don't care if it's racist or not. You're a crook. Okay, so that happened this week, and the good people, the NDIS, stopped a whole lot of fraudsters and named them and shamed them, and it's in the Melbourne Herald newspaper, and you can see there. Now, how do you say that? How do you say Uber or Uber?
I believe it's spelled just how it sounds.
Exactly. That's what they said in Meet the Fockers, didn't they, Casey? When they asked him. Yeah, I think so. You'd have to go back and watch that one and see it, all right?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well done, Joyce. I love your endless learning. Brilliant.
It's great stuff, Joyce. Good on you. All right, so other things that have been happening this week is Casey has come back. Why were you banned, Casey? What happened?
Because I told you off about calling it Uber. No, not really.
Well, Heather agrees with you and Claire agrees with you. You've got some
Yeah,
allies.
it's Uber. I have an Uber booked for myself shortly after this finishes. I have been. Oh, sorry, I'll just read what Joyce said. I was actually speaking to a lawyer last week about the prolificness of NDIS and fraud. No doubt it'll be a booming industry for investigators within time. They can't keep going that way. Anyway, I was accepted into a technology accelerator program, and the first few weeks were very full on. So getting Quick Look, it's already up and running, but making it stronger and even more exciting than it already is. So just continuously trying to protect Australians from scams. And with this accelerator program, I'll be able to do it even more. So I'm very excited about that.
Very good. So you're going to put Scam Watch down in South Australia by Evan out of business? Because,
No, I think there's enough business for the two of us, I think.
I'm sure, and I'm sure because Evan's international as well as local, so he's everywhere. Good on you, Evan. Good on you, Joy.
We're fighting the good fight.
So you haven't been sick. You've just been exceptionally busy.
Yes.
And visitors from interstate on top of all that sort of adds into the mix. I'll leave you in charge of the comments. I've got to go back to a couple of things that have been happening. The Brittany Higgins case down in the defamation case with Channel 7 and all that sort of stuff, for those of you who like to watch things about evidence, there came to be an argument in court about a dress she wore on the evening that she was allegedly raped. Now, one of the most common things that happens in all types of investigations is it comes down to an item of clothing. Now, ladies know their clothing. They know the difference between a skirt and a dress and a top and whatever. I don't, but they do. So when they tell you something in a statement or something, you can actually quite rely on it. There's a very famous murder down in Hobart where a man dressed as a woman met his flatmate at a bus stop and murdered him. And the other person that lived with them was a lady who didn't know this other man dressed as a woman and was dressing up in her clothes and all this sort of thing. When she gave a statement about her flatmate that was murdered and she didn't know who did it at this time, she talked about a dress that was missing. And the head of investigations, who was one of my mentors when I worked at the West Point Casino as the investigations officer for the West Point Casino, he made all his detectives go and scour the flat and the rubbish tip and everywhere they could for this dress, and they actually found it. And it had bloodstains on it. It all came down to the reliability and knowledge of that lady and about her dress that broke the case that led to them finding out who the murderer was that lived with these two other uni students. It was a long time ago. But articles of clothing are critical in some cases, and when the person raises them, that's when you go into really deep questioning in your records of interview or your statement about the colour. Is it a size 12? Can I confirm it was a size large or a medium or a 14 or whatever? And when you say it was like a green colour, was it emerald green or was it? Can you show me on a colour chart the colour? Get a really good understanding of it, because you'll never meet a more reliable witness than a lady talking about her own clothing. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, Brittany Higgins, I have no interest in that matter or anything. I just like watching it for the way they're producing the evidence and what they're saying. Now, one thing under cross-examination that they do to you in these things is they try and discredit you. And in trying to discredit you, they sort of raise issues about, have you been paid to do this, or or what's going on here or whatever. And they found out that one of the news agencies or news services, media services, paid Brittany Higgins $216,000 for her story, which they would then air on dramatic TV. And they grilled witness Brittany Higgins about this for ages, and she said, look, I haven't been paid the money yet, I don't care about it, give it to charity, I don't give a stuff. She's did all the right things. But what the barrister cross-examining her did was turn it all around. And he said, so you've got 216,000 good reasons to lie about this or that or whatever. So keep that in mind. When it comes to dollar figures being nominated in a court case and you're going to be under cross-examination, that's what they're going to say to you. And I don't think Brittany's been coached. She's doing a pretty good job. She's sticking up for herself, but she's had a grueling run under cross-examination. 3 minutes under cross-examination, you won't remember your own name. She's had 6 days of it. So it's a pretty interesting case to follow.
Yeah, I got that, Joyce. Thank you so much. I will get back to you.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
exactly.
It's not victim blaming. It's not saying that she deserves it. It was about the article of clothing and
it's where it was found and this sort of thing that it came down to. So yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
Yeah. It's nothing to do with she was asking for it.
That's me not explaining it properly, but the issue is that the dress issue was raised as to how witnesses are really good at their own clothing if they're ladies. Now, blokes, it's a green T-shirt or it's a blue T-shirt, it's a pair of shorts or whatever it is. But I'm coming across as the reliability of the witness when describing clothing and that sort of thing, what's missing, what's not. But you are right. There's big issues at the moment with the issue you just raised in domestic violence and stuff like that. Good on you. Thanks for raising it. Hang on. Here we go.
Jamie.
Jamie says it's pronounced Uber, like I said. So
no, he said it's pronounced Uber, not Uber.
Look, I was just using that as a segue into the NDIS thing, all right? God, just everybody get off Casey's side. I got that job, sorry. I didn't think I had it. Allied Universal got on my case again yesterday, people. They're looking for full-time investigators in Victoria, factual investigations. So Tass down there, if you're an Australian Security Academy graduate, you're licensed, he wants to speak to you, get in touch with me. I'll put you in touch with Tass at Allied Universal. The RACWA are looking for investigators in Perth, Western Australia, and Advisor Assurance Investigations at Yarra Trams down in Melbourne are looking for a factual investigator as well. What do you got for us today, Cass?
I have something really cool that... Thank you for that, Evan. I have something really cool for all of my OSINT fans out there. I only came across this today, so I haven't had time to go into it, but I'm definitely going to do it, and I hope you all join me and we can talk about it next week. It is an OSINT advent calendar. So at OSINT for Fun, what's the... OSINT, it's osintforfun.eu. And the 4 is like a number 4. So OSINT number 4 fun.eu. And it is an advent calendar with all different OSINT challenges. So you can challenge yourself. And this is just like the example. This is the very first one. So this woman faced a bus driver and became an emblematic figure of the fight against racial segregation. In which city was she born? So you would have to do some OSINT in order to find out where she was born. So just a bit of fun there. I'm sure they get harder and different as it goes with different probably SOCMINT and GUINT. But yeah, really fantastic and fun little OSINT Christmas thing.
Very good. All right, we'll have to check that out and see if we can find out. Where's she? Philadelphia, wasn't she?
You know? It says where she was born. So it might have happened there, but it could be a trick question. It's like she might not have been born there. So I have to do some OSINT.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll all do that over the weekend. And Joyce has to vent about the NDIS. We call Salesforce Offshore. NDIS is really drawing out a lot of investigators out of the private investigation system. So Charlie Tucker and Steve Bennett in the last couple of weeks have joined the NDIS, both as fraud investigators, and Charlie Tucker heading up the fraud investigation task force at the NDIS. So that's a couple of Australian Security Academy graduates that were private investigators, licensed private investigators, that moved into government investigation through the NDIS. It's a big demand on everybody at the moment. G'day, Tony down in Adelaide. Great to see you, mate. Thanks for checking in. Well, it must be 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Adelaide right now. How far behind are you guys in daylight saving? I can't keep up with it. Now, a couple of things. Make sure I covered everything, people.
Does anybody
Yep. Keep going.
Just out of curiosity, does anybody know the answer to this? Anybody done some OSINT?
Was she the lady on the bus that wouldn't stand up or something?
Yeah, Parks.
Yeah, Chicago. That's a guess. Wasn't New York, I know that. We've got a punter here we go. Alabama.
Oh, there you go.
No, there you go.
Thailand, no, not quite.
Jackie, stay behind after the session today. You and I have got to talk, okay?
Choice.
Anyway.
Yeah, Salesforce are a massive thing. So this is the picture, Joyce.
You studied it at high school, people. Pat and the team at SureFact are looking for factional investigators, New South Wales and Victoria, so get in touch with them, people. They really want to hear from you. Tim Blank at Quantum Corp and also Sarah Tilley at Quantum Corp both want to hear from you, looking for factional investigators in New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria. You may have noticed I've been pushing our investigations uni over the last couple of weeks. Certainly it had its final episode today talking about bringing statements all together for statutory and pending claims. If you haven't had access to that, you're Australian Security Academy graduate student, get in touch with me. It's really important. We're going to be closing on Wednesday the 20th of December. We'll be back on January the 8th. For those of you that don't know, we have an industry association called AirLap. Up in the top right-hand corner, that's what our little logo looks like. We've had 4 past graduate students join AirLap this week because they have a work. There's a puppy dog in the back there, Casey. Which one is it?
It's Rosie.
So they have joined AirLap this week because they have to be members of an industry association to do work for Allianz. Now, their workplace has worked for Allianz, and these investigators have to be members of an industry association. Our logo, as you can see up in the top right-hand corner, you're a graduate Australian Security Academy student. You become a member of that industry association. To participate in what we do up in the top right-hand corner, you can join us every Friday and take part in our industry association meetings, and they're absolutely free. Costs you nothing. All right, so you can demonstrate to Allianz, who want to know that you are attending an industry association every week, every Friday afternoon, even those on surveillance when work finishes at 2 o'clock. Okay, you can watch Investigations Uni as part of your commitment to being in an industry association. So that's really important, people. Don't pay $300 a year to be a member of an industry association where they talk about irrelevant issues such as armed robbery, rape, and murder, when you can actually be growing professionally at investigation duty every week when we talk about negligence and liability, which is what Allianz are interested in. They don't want you listening to a bunch of ex-cops telling war stories. They want relevance. So that's the key to it.
I think Chantel's taking your side.
Good on you, Chantel. Good on you. There is a qualified person, right? Who knows? Good on you, Chantel. Oh dear. Now that I've split the whole place up, there's going to be Thursday afternoon Spy Curious for those who agree with me, and Friday afternoon Spy Curious for those who agree with Casey. Or we might come to some kind of like peace talks and have a peace deal. But good on you, Chantel. Well done. So yeah, don't join an industry. Don't pay to join an industry association and listen to it. Those days are gone. Completely gone. It's 2024. Today you've got to get benefit for free from an industry association, right? And it's got to be an industry association that delivers on what you're going to do as a private investigator. If I want murder investigation done or a rape investigation, I'll go to the police, they'll do it for free. No private investigator's going to do it. So you might as well accept that being relevant is the important thing, and it's being delivered every Friday. Selma, Alabama, does that sound right? Selma, what was her last name?
No, that's where she was born. So it's Rosa Parks.
Oh, Rosa, yeah, sorry, right.
Yeah.
Hey, when I went to primary school, it was a long time ago. Okay. All the textbooks were in black and white. There was no colour. This is our last program for this year, people. We will be coming back in early January. So Casey and I will take the opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will come back with some replays of some stuff and a little bit of jobs, but it won't be as intense as it has been, just to take the pressure off.
I'm not sure who that is. We're clearly paying them.
Excuse me. So, yeah, thanks for your support over the year, people. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
we've been blown away from it by it, and it's been really great. With that, we've had our complete time. I'd like to say goodbye on behalf of Pat and myself, and Casey will say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for your support over the year. And just, I love seeing all of the familiar names and faces and handles. So yeah, your support's been amazing. Thank you for the engagement. It just makes it so much more fun. And yeah, have a very safe and hopefully relaxing and peaceful holiday season.
And don't fight with each other over the names of taxi services, because it's futile. There's no point. All right? Everybody chill out. Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for watching. We're going to go out in our usual way, as traditionally we have to close off the week.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
And that's how every investigation agency ends their week, with all units returning to base. Guarantee it doesn't happen.
Thanks, Joyce.
So everybody enjoy your holidays with your family, enjoy your time off, and I hope you get away or get to have a relax at the beach, that sort of thing. We'll see you early in the new year. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye, everyone.